Привет, дорогой зритель. Прошлый ролик оборвался, как всегда, внезапно. Ну, не как всегда, но как часто. Опять меня подвело место на жестком. Что-то я заигрался. И как-то задумался. Но, в общем и целом, не так много времени не записалось. С кем? Практически... Да, все правильно. На самом деле записалось практически все. Я умудрился разок вздрогнуть от толпы этих упырей. Оказалось, что не все они низкоуровневые. Пара из них была очень даже которые вот грязкой. И зашли сюда.
Are you sure you'll be able to reach?
Young man, I am.
Вот, он сказал, что его сын купил в ряды охотников на вампиров, и вот тут такой. Вот, мы порекомендовали ему пойти домой, собственно, он решил снять голову на это. Ну, в общем, вот. Забавный был. Ну, опять-таки. Чё, нет? Дальше прошли. Еще пару упырей. Да, собственно. Ушлял. Ему... Пора. Хотел поговорить. Хотел поговорить с этим очень. Зовут я... Утом Дигби говорил на тему того. Там курица. Че говорил на тему? Знаешь, что ты чудовище? Ну там забавный был диалог, на самом деле, проще сделаем. Давай, иди. Пойдем сдадим пока квест. Основной, а потом...
Good evening, Miss Cox.
Hello again, Dr. Reed.
диалог
What do you want?
I managed to reach the mass grave in Southwark. It was not pleasant.
Spare me the details, Dr. Reed. All I want to know is what happened to those bastards who owed me.
I'm afraid those bastards, as you call them, are in the mass grave.
Dead? Shit. That money would have been useful. Well, I'll tell my boys to avoid the place if it's that dangerous.
Yes. Everybody should avoid that place until further notice.
Okay then, Doctor. It looks like you deserve your reward after all. The Wet Boot Boys thank you for your help.
Tell me your feelings about Booth's belief in monsters, Edwina.
It makes him look weak in front of the boys.
You don't believe he really saw something?
I don't care what he saw or not. All I know is that a real man keeps his fears to himself if he wants...
Суру. Тетка, че?
Goodbye, Min.
I'm gonna find out.
Блин, забавный был диалог.
You again.
I know you believe monsters are real, Booth.
They are. I know, I saw one. But
Tell me what you saw.
it was a few years ago. Clay Cox was still the boss then. He'd sent me to the shipyard to find out who was stealing tools and ropes.
Go on.
First, I thought it was an old lady with a limp. It looked frail and crooked.
Я в этом моменте
Then I
даже
saw
смешно
it grab a
пошутил.
bloody beam and lift it like
Что-то
it
про
was
то,
a
что
stick.
бабуля просто
I
решила
shouted.
подкачаться.
It looked straight at me.
Do you know what it
Подкачалась до
was?
этого.
It was all eyes and
Этот сразу
long
панику
teeth, but
навел.
I couldn't see its face. I shot at it when it moved towards me and I hit it. And then it jumped and vanished in the shadows.
You could have
собственно, это
imagined
весь
all
и-
that. These docks can be so
диалог, что
gloomy at night.
Зубастую
With the
бабку,
fog and the wind,
которая тягала
boats creaking.
No,
стальные
Doctor.
балки.
That night I saw the fucking sewer dog for real. It's not a beast.
Собственно, все.
Goodbye.
Ну, там можно еще над вами смеются, он, да, мне.
You again. What do you want?
Goodbye, Mr. Digby.
You again. What?
Goodbye, Mr. Digby.
Так.
Heartens me to know you can't see.
Ну, иногда немного подглючивает.
Perhaps we should have listened to what the idiot had to say.
Циклы. Блин. Честно говоря, все можно. Бежище. Хотите карту? Ну идем, в общем, как раз.
So few clients. But with the epidemic, no one dares go outside.
О, мужичок успокоился, перестал панику наводить. Сел наконец. Кстати, довольно-таки странно, я смотрю записи. Теперь появилась какая-то тема свет. Не понимаю, почему. Но запись идет. Тут игра фриз. А у меня вообще фризов нет абсолютно. Все абсолютно правильно.
Watch out! Die, vermin! It's too fucking fast!
И я бы, честно сказать, удивился, если...
I cannot enter.
Что?
See them fence! Over there! There's one of them vermin!
Чё ты?
Best be on your way home.
Нормально.
Go back home, idiot! Over there! There's one of them vermin! Kill it!
И убить их, что ли? Экспапы. Чё, блин? Дернется. Эй, эй, барахло. Дай хобар. Гад. Нажал.
Die, vermin!
Нет. Бля, какой ты крепкий. Интересно проверить, в каком сундук был.
It's locked.
Как сюда пройти-то? О. Бабки взять. Как-то не густо. Досадно.
It's locked, all right.
Ладно. И тогда... Помощь пойти. Так. Всё чепу.
Steady, boys! Reload! I'll kill it! It's in there! Hit it!
Достало.
Watch it! It's in...
Ладно.
Stop right now! Steady, boy!
Отдавай свои ништяки. Я что-то...
Over there! There's one of them vermin! Doesn't like fire, does it?
Каждый норовит, блин.
This is despicable.
Ням-ням-ням-ням. Не могу, собственно. Сейчас воп...
So many deaths. And still more coming. How
Ты
can
мне
we
первый
free
попал.
girl?
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
I located the shop, but it was vandalized, and the owner is missing. All I found was your order.
I was afraid of such bad news. People are so desperate they're ready to burgle a shop for drugs.
That's quite a list you ordered. Opium, sodium hypochlorite. It can't be just headaches you're trying to cure.
This dreadful influenza, of course. I already ran some tests on hopeless cases. Without success, I must admit.
Do you realize you could create a lethal poison without the correct dosage? Then there are the legal ramifications.
Is this not true of any medical substance, Dr. Reed? However, if you would agree to improve it, I'd be glad to accept your help.
As long as you promise to be scrupulous with your experiments, I may try to gather these substances and even help improve upon...
That's all I'm asking for.
I want to know about these secret tests you run, and if they can save people from this epidemic. Speak to me now, Thoreau.
I know I may sound presumptuous, but I'm just following your steps, Dr. Reed. I'm casting away the shadows of ignorance by...
Self-confidence is essential in our line of work, my young colleague, but only if tempered with the correct amount of cynicism.
But you never doubt yourself, Dr. Reed. I've read all your articles and books.
Don't you think we have enough work already? Perhaps now is not the best time to be chasing shadows.
Chasing shadows, really? It's funny those words coming from the only doctor here who has spent more time outside this hospital than in.
Полили?
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Стой, что тебе
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening.
Goodbye.
надо для него сделать? Понять, чем ты болеешь, чувак.
Good evening, Mr.
Good evening.
Is there anything else that...
I'm all right. Consider...
Is there anything?
I'm all.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Helen. As for me, what a blundering idiot.
Чем может? Очень.
Never could keep anything from her.
Good evening.
Good evening,
Чё,
Mr.
как
Go-
I'm okay.
Ну и побал.
I have to...
Ну, шлепок, я ж тебя вылечил.
Don't waste your time with
Как
me.
это?
Good evening.
Ну, этого вылечил. Почему всем похер?
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswin.
Приятный. Так, ладно.
What a blundering idiot.
Бандюгану этому. Псина, ты где там?
Hey,
You're lucky to be alive, Mr. Cox.
this place is full of sickness and decay.
Consider yourself lucky that I'm treating all of my patients equally. But don't push your luck.
Don't play the innocent with me. I'm sure you have good
Да,
reasons
чтобы
to
ты был
act this way.
повкуснее.
And also weaknesses that can be exploited.
You're lucky to be alive.
Of course.
I'll lead...
Так. Чёрт. Блин, ну он реально там. Ладно, давайте сбегаем в реализацию. О, привет, Нёк.
Hello again,
Твоего
Mr.
другана
Thatcher.
спасли. О,
Do you feel any better?
Yes, this neighborhood may stink of dog shit and reek of piss, but to me it smells like the purest mountain air.
Do you need medical attention?
Don't get me wrong, sir. I'm grateful for what you've done, but I've never felt comfortable with doctors.
I'm certain you have your reasons. But let me assure you, I'm not like other doctors you may have consulted with.
It is true. You risked your life to save me, after all. It would be impolite to refuse your counsel.
Mr. Thatcher,
No. Since I came back from the war, I spent most of my time and energy just trying to forget.
I understand what you mean. I was a soldier too.
No. Nobody can truly understand what I've
Ой, ну
gone
ты
through.
уникальный прям, господи.
Why were you locked in that sewer?
I went by the canal after an argument with a friend. Got chased by these fucking wankers and had to barricade myself in, despite...
Why did you run? What was the reason for your argument?
Newton wanted me to go to a hospital, but I can't stand being closed in. Makes me feel like I'm suffocating.
Tell me about your claustrophobia. Has anyone given you an official diagnosis?
That's what the bloody doctor said. But I don't want to go to a hospital to get checked again. I'll deal with it my own way.
Oswald, why did you not go to the Pembroke Hospital to seek medical help?
I don't trust doctors. All they care about was their careers and...
Your fear of being trapped is not going to go away by itself. You need professional...
I've seen enough butchers in white coats to last a lifetime. Hospitals reek of chemical...
Do you want to talk about why you have this fear of being enclosed, Mr. Thatcher?
No, I really don't.
An irrational fear like yours is usually rooted in a...
Well, Doctor, take a guess then, if you're so interested in my case.
When I rescued you, You expressed joy at seeing the sky again. So I'm inclined to believe you were trapped or buried somehow. Maybe during a shelling.
Jeez, you're good, Doc. You're really good.
Go
Лол,
on,
я
please.
угадал.
Tell me more about it.
Newton and I were trapped in a circulation tunnel after an artillery attack. We were buried alive for several days without ever knowing if we'd be found.
Oswald, tell me about what happened when you were buried in...
It was more than dark. It was black as pitch. Hours seemed like days, and days like months. Oh, the terror, the shameful thought.
Shameful thoughts. Tell me.
At some point, I don't remember which day, but when I thought we'd never be rescued, that this would be our end, I thought about...
Say it, Mr. Thatcher.
Yeah, I thought about what I could do to survive. Just for a few more days. I thought about killing Newton. Killing and eating him. The man I fucking love.
Я всегда знал, что геи вот такие. Как бы сожрут тебя.
What you endured was terrifying. It would have completely destroyed weaker men.
It did not destroy Newton.
Потому что он тоже тебя захавать хотел.
Tell me about your...
I love him. I'm not ashamed to say it. He's...
I admire your honesty.
Courage is what we needed in the trenches. Look,
Have you always been this...
all I know is, before you saved me by the sewer, my...
Why should you...
I'm not, I said.
Так,
Goodbye, man.
по
We fought for
голубкам.
England, but England won't fight for us.
О, парень.
Hello again, Mr. Blight. I'm happy to see Mr. Thatcher is safe, for now.
I'm eternally grateful, Doctor. We were total strangers.
What can you tell me about the war, Mr. Blight? If you want to speak about it.
War was... Well, you know, sir. The stench of death everywhere. Your mates lying bleeding in the mud.
I fought in France, too. I served as a field surgeon, but it was not uncommon to repel an assault, especially at night.
Yeah. The first time I was wounded, I had to protect the infirmary from hostiles. Twice.
Did you know Oswald Thatcher before?
No. We met in the battlefield. I think we were in the same boat to France. We've stuck together ever since.
What caused your foe?
It happened last year following an artillery attack. I was trapped for 2 days in a hole under 2 dead soldiers. And there were rats.
Go on.
They started eating me as soon as I dozed,
Я нихуя.
gnawing
себе.
at my ears, my fingers, lips. I couldn't move.
I see.
No, you don't. You have no idea what it is to wake up buried under bodies. Fucking vermin eating your flesh. Oswald,
Тебе повезло, что не присоединился и не сожрал.
How do you feel about Oswald Thatcher?
I love him. I love Oswald. We knew we wouldn't survive.
What frightens you so much?
What if people find out? Oswald says I'm ashamed, but it ain't that. It's more, well, you know. I never...
Maybe a time will come when you'll not have to hide who you are. But for now, I can only advise caution.
I know, Dr. Reed.
Вы же не в России
Oswald wouldn't
живете.
survive behind bars.
Все будет окей.
I wouldn't live long if we were separated.
Оттяните лет 90, и все будет отлично.
You and Oswald were buried alive during the war. Tell me about it.
Yeah. It was last summer. A shell hit our trench and we were buried for a week.
Oswald seemed far...
It wasn't the first time it happened to me. And surviving it again gave me strength.
How did you survive for a week?
Luckily for us, there were rations and water in the tunnel. It was an outpost, see?
Блин, там были пайки, была вода, и при этом Освальд подумал о том, как бы его захавать. Это вообще странно.
You are always welcome at the Pembroke Hospital. As a former officer, I'll be honored to welcome a fellow...
I'm not giving up on bringing Oswald back to the hospital. I just need to convince him that he needs some help.
Perhaps he needs to reach that decision by himself.
Could you...
Ой, блин.
You are...
I'm not giving...
Perhaps he needs to reach that decision by...
Could you speak to him? He doesn't usually listen to doctors, but perhaps because you've been through it, you can talk him round.
Why do you stay here now that Mr. Thatcher's back?
It's complicated. Since the war, Oswald's been really nervous with the idea of entering any hospital. And me.
Can you speak about them?
Rats, sir. Even seeing one.
Мы уже знаем.
Goodbye, Mr. Blunt. Good evening.
Освальд, давай. Якоб.
Newton is conflicted about his feelings towards you. Would you like to talk about it, Oswald?
It makes me sad and angry. It feels like the beautiful thing we have is somehow tainted. It hurts to see him so lost.
His love for you is genuine. I'm certain he wasn't lying to me when he expressed his feelings for you.
Newton still has to accept it, knowing he'll be seen as a queer, a fairy, less than a man in those simple-minded bigots' eyes. Though he's more of a man than they'll ever be. So
Блин. Серьезно.
Goodbye, Mr.
Освальд готов, ему можно есть. Окей.
Still standing after this epidemic.
Освальда, наверное, по-любому придет учить. Никто не подумал, что я брезгую меньшинством. Как бы у нас равноправие. Шутки. Так.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Я не собираюсь.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Тут что-то светилось. Что можно было взять.
You always need
Sure.
words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me, what a blundering idiot.
Что-то там. Они вечно тут.
Seems to be falling apart.
Good
But in
evening,
the
sir.
circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the
О,
doubt.
вот.
Waste your time. I will not let you down, my boy.
making a difference.
Положите на свой стол. Так. И бежим. Меня прям мучает любопытство, что они там делают.
How can I be sure I'll not find your unconscious body in the house again?
I promise you, you'll not find my unconscious body.
For God's sake, how can you say such a thing?
How can you refuse to listen? I tried to warn you for so long.
No, I won't let my only son die. You promised me you'll stay alive.
Your son lied to you, like the whole world lies to us.
Ой, мальчик, что ж маме?
Good evening, Doctor.
Your son wished to die, Beatrice.
Are you not aware suicide is a crime? Mortimer could be thrown in...
I understand you fear the legal consequences, Mrs. Goswick. But don't you realize your silence significantly affects your son's case?
All my son needs is help and comprehension. Not judgment and punishment for what he may or may not have done.
Да, запал себя убить.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
Good evening, Doctor.
Отстаньте
How
от
is my
меня,
son
блин,
doing?
женщина.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
This hospital seems to be falling apart. But in the circumstances,
Good evening, Mr.
I'm
Goswick.
willing to
I'm
give you
okay.
the benefit of the doubt.
Admit it, Mortimer. Your mother had you hospitalized here because you tried to kill yourself.
Yes, it's true.
All right, then. This is the first time we've really shared.
Call it what you want, Dr. Reed.
You can trust me. I won't report you to the authorities. My one and only concern is your health.
I guess I should thank you then.
Can I help you in any way, Mr.
Перережьте мне
I
Goswick?
горло.
wrote a letter for my mother. She was supposed to read it after my death. But I suppose she doesn't have to read it now.
I see. And is this letter still near the place where you tried to take your own life?
Yes. And I don't want anyone reading my last words. I mean, I'm still here. If you bring me back that letter, then perhaps we'll talk.
I have to go now, sir.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Своем.
So many deaths. A lot of my own life.
Так. Твой стол. Типа хлорид натрия. Натрий, калий и 6 железа, натрий 1. Не понимаю.
Strickland's project could be dangerous. I have a mind to report him to Dr. Ackroyd. The flower's dying. It needs water.
I'm quite busy right now, Doctor.
Do you think Dr. Strickland has any chance of curing the
His wish to cure the sick is not driven by pride, but by an idealistic view about our mission here. Honestly, I don't know which is worse.
You consider him a good practitioner, yet you will not report his methods.
Strickland may be a rival, but I will not use dirty tricks or regulations to prove him wrong. We are doctors, not politicians.
I know that you're a busy man, but I could use your help and advice.
The great Dr. Reed honors me with a request. What is it exactly?
Dr. Strickland devised an experimental drug for the Spanish flu that he asked me to manufacture.
You know what I think of fringe medical experimentation?
That's exactly why I want you to keep the result, Doctor. I made sure it won't harm anyone, but I'd like you to take care of it.
I see. Put it in my cabinet. I'll give you the key. I'll make sure no one uses this medication by mistake.
I'll do that. Thank you for your help, Dr. Ackroyd.
Thank you for your trust on the matter, Dr. Reed.
Thank you for your...
Чапал.
It's locked. It's
Да
locked,
что за
all right.
блядство?
It's locked, all right. It's locked. Now that Dr. Ackroyd has been warned, he should make good use of this formula.
Я на самом деле... Да.
Blaming me will not further your...
Good evening.
And good evening to you.
Did you know Dr. Ackroyd never reported your experimental research, despite the fact he doesn't agree with it?
Really? I didn't suspect he knew about my work. I must confess I am surprised.
Perhaps he thinks you should realize for yourself the danger of what you're doing.
Really?
Perhaps he...
See how condescending he can be? My God, he can be so irritating.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
I will not let you down, my boy.
После прочтения сжечь, это круто. Карнат. Чем мы Брэдом? Это, наверное, тот дом, который я думал, что это убежище. Там знака тут еще не было. Матушка. Иногда мне кажется, столь же прекрасно.
In this letter, Mortimer Goswick does nothing to hide his desire to die. I could give it to his mother, but doing so would betray his trust.
Ну, с Мортимером. Чем он? отродье дают с помощью. Действительно ли это единственный способ? Вампир. Но некоторые выживают, а сами превращаются в кровь. Кроме того, вампиры, похоже, способны ребенком к рождению. Мать при этом. Вампир выходит. Она, вероятно, выживает.
It's locked, all right.
Как? Нервную систему расшатал. Кстати, вообще имеет смысл навык.
Good
Мамаша,
evening,
отдам
Doctor.
этот.
How is my son doing?
Your son asked me to find this letter, Mrs. Goswick. However, I thought it would be preferable to give it to you.
I already know what I'm going to read. Mortimer, why are you acting in this way? I have done everything I can to help you, but it's not enough.
We will talk about this letter later. I understand that you need some privacy.
Before you leave, take this for your trouble. Thanks to you, my son still has a future. Perhaps.
I have read your son's suicide note. It was not an impulsive gesture, nor was it his first attempt.
He threatened to kill himself a few times before. But I never thought he would dare to punish me this much.
Punish you? Why?
I've known for a long time he was not happy with his life. But I always hoped he cared enough to avoid making me suffer like this.
Do you realize your son could try to kill himself again? He might succeed next time.
I think about it every minute. But I won't stop.
You're right. Your son's death was not fatal. And unlike many on their own, he is lucky to have you by his side.
I can't give up on him. I just can't. I have conceded many times in my life, but giving up on my son is something I am incapable of.
Он же шизоид.
Mortimer is extremely vague as to his motivations for committing.
As you say, Mortimer had no reason to die. All he said to me was that he wanted to make the world a better place, but couldn't.
Why did your son feel so?
I think it was more that he could only see the melancholy facets of life.
What do you think he meant by making the world a better place?
Mortimer has always been a sensitive soul. He wouldn't talk to anyone for months after his father passed.
Девчонки всегда хотели
It's
в
like
любой
he
момент, в
carries
любой день
everyone's
недели.
sadness with him.
I've read your son's medical report, Beatrice. It's not the flu or anything life-threatening. What has you so worried?
He was at death's door when he was brought here. I just want him to be better as soon as possible.
He's not out of the woods yet, you know. He might need...
Take care of him then, Dr. Reed. People here only seem to focus on contagious patients. I worry my poor Mortimer will be neglected.
Мы в итоге будем кого-то из них... Да, Мортимера...
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
Your medical report says you're not affected by the Spanish flu.
Does it make me happy? Not in the slightest. If it was up to me, I would have left this place long ago.
And why do you think you don't belong here? And why do you think you don't belong here?
I know the staff have more important things.
Тут ты прав.
Your mother won't let you down, Mortimer. Don't you share her hope for a better future?
No. I don't.
Won't you even try?
Do you want me to promise you I'll get better? Do you want me to tell her the same thing? I could, but it would not change anything.
I've read your letter, Mortimer. You wrote about an unbearable feeling of despair, while the world crumbles around you. Tell me more about it.
There's nothing more to say, really. It's hurtful, it's unbearable, and I don't ask anyone to understand what I feel.
Don't you see how lucky you are? You're
А,
rich,
блядь,
you're
я
in
думал,
good health,
он
and you have a
что-нибудь...
loving mother.
Блядь,
You're simply
идиот.
drowning in self-pity.
Leave me alone then, Doctor, and let...
А, идиот.
I've read...
There's nothing...
Don't you...
Leave me alone.
Ну, они все знают.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Дни. Спим. Чем навыка? Это я пошел. Так. Учим прям. Мне вообще бездна более интересно. Но... Да и кровавый котел. Но начать все-таки хочется с этого. Тоже пока. Уменьшается. все равно 1000. Подняли в квартале. Да. О. Так. Чего? Мы еще и гангрел. Этот вообще когти.
Patients are not fools. They know we are overwhelmed by this horrifying epidemic.
Эй, мне надо... Какого хрена ты это сделал? Теперь только все... Мой муж выпустил... Сколько... Этого... Чепела.
Hey, Doc.
Am I right to assume your wife's letter pissed you off, Clay?
I was so mad I threw away the knife she got me when we got married.
Your wife gave you a knife as a wedding present.
That knife has always been my lucky charm. If I'd had it in my hand when I got stabbed on that pier, I'd not have been wounded.
A lucky charm? I never would have...
We all have our flaws, Doc. Mine's to have my weapon of choice, but when the really dirty business comes around.
What can you tell me about your marriage, Clay?
Marriage is the sweetest cage, they say. Well, I found my...
You mean your wife keeps you on your toes?
No, I mean, we both have claws and we both...
Не вижу смысла его живым оставить.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Наверное, убийца Богдан. Мне скорее любопытно немножко посмотреть за его дальнейшей жизнью. Наверное, сделаем так, я.
Is this supposed to be an hospital? A pigsty would smell better.
Общаться с ложную цель и... Сейчас опять этот будет. Сюда. Потому что мог... Ух ты, блядь. А, и все? Чутка широко. Там и гнев какой-то. Ах вы, суки, отстаньте от моей тёлочки. Ёб твою мать, ты-то кто такой тут еще, блядь? Она такая прикольная шизоидная тёлочка. Чё? Блин, я забыл. А, я забыл тебя от мигрени. А, он не умеет мигрень. Как, нормально все?
Are you all right, Miss Howcroft?
They were tracking me, hunting me down. After the death of Thomas, they came to the hospital. They said I killed him.
But you're safe now. Those men won't bother you anymore.
Did you hear them? They recognized me as a vampire. I knew it. I knew it.
I believe you need to get back to safety as quickly as possible.
I'm not crazy. I knew there was something wrong with me. I need to tell the doctors about this.
Нет. Правильно мысль.
I'm not crazy.
Vampyr. Чё-то... Деньги. Выдает себя за психически больную. Я лично пробрался в больницу, слышал, что жалуются на то, что ей нужна кровь, на то, что ее тело разлагается. Это еще не... Нашего командира. Первый. Ты еще не ушла, безу. Чем?
closed. Crush the lever! Kill it! Take its head!
Персонаж не тут. Мусорка. Херня, да жизнь. Что ты делаешь?
More and more of these bloody leeches every night. Aye, but the guards recruit more and more every year.
When did you join the guard? 2 days ago. This is my first patrol.
It's closed.
Дали им жить.
It's locked, all right.
Давай.
Please open the door, sir. This is no place for a gentleman.
Больно вообще.
Please, sir. Can't let you through. When did you join the guard? 2 days ago. This is my first patrol. Stay close. Keep an eye on each other. Turn around, sir.
Didn't you hear me?
Better go home, sir. This is no place for you, sir.
Сами.
He's dead! Oh my god! He's dead! We have to stop him!
Такой агрессивный.
It's locked. Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he...
If you've been hurt, I can...
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough.
This note was found on a dead man, Albert. If that doesn't change your mind, then you must be ready to face the risks.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I've a future here.
What happened?
Hey, I didn't do anything.
Medication and drugs are a rare commodity in East London. So you picked an easy target, didn't you?
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself...
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Goodbye, young man.
Wet Boots will be proud of me.
Sort of bloody joke to you, innit?
Me? I'll not die of some sick and suffering drinking worse than a week-old lavvy.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do.
What? You saw what happened?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane?
Funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some...
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
What can you tell me about this?
Nothing to say, really. This is where
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. Now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy he just frayed me last nerve.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
What about those we left behind, face down in the mud? You want to change places with them? You cannot waste your chance at life this way.
It's not that simple. I wouldn't have expected you to understand. I don't even know why I spoke to you in the first place.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir.
Чтобы гипноз
Goodbye for now.
The wet boots will be proud of me.
I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy. I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should...
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
I'd like to see what...
Its effectiveness has been proven by many.
Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough cordial.
If I could get some work in.
Good evening, Benjamin. Can I help you?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Reed.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a...
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith that... Again.
Серия. Серия будет посвящена чем? Видишь, есть. Вообще. Бежим. Они пьют... С которым я беседовал в Москве. Я убежден, что это ключевой элемент понимания. Чё кто? Да оперный театр. Чё-ка. Да.
I have this thirst for blood. This is despicable. I have this thirst for blood. А, блин.
Сколько ж я... Почему?